Welcome to the 40 Love Podcast. All things tennis.
Okay, welcome guys. Welcome to our first Don. We have Don Cox here.
Yeah.
And Don and I, my name is Joy. Joy Pratcher.
Hey, Joy.
Hey, and this is Don and I's first time podcasting for our new endeavor in 40 Love.
40 Love.
It is our a tennis podcast, and Don and I are great tennis buddies, and we have been tennis buddies for how long now?
I don't know. It's maybe 10 years, it seems like.
It's crazy.
I mean, it is unbelievable how we met. We met at the French Open.
Yep.
Court Suzanne Langlaun.
Yes.
It was Serena Williams' match. It was was very end. It was probably the last match of the day, I think.
And she won.
Yes, she did win.
Yeah.
And we had our own little fun.
We did. No. And so Don was, I overheard Don in the stands, and he's like, "Go Serena!" And I look back because I hear, an American voice, and I'm like, "Oh my God, he's definitely from the U.S." And I think he's from the Northeast, right? Because based on
being crazy,
right. No, and I loved it. So I literally approached Don afterwards, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm from New York. Where are you from?" And you're from New Jersey, and literally it changed the entire trip for me.
And we started talking. We realized, wow, we know all these same people.
Right.
What the world is just small.
It's
It's
small,
unbelievable.
right.
And it turned out Joy was a big tennis fan. I didn't think there was anybody as big a tennis fan as I am.
Right, until we met each other.
Exactly.
We're like, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
And it granted, I mean, one of the reasons why I got into tennis was definitely the Williams sisters. But my dad watched tennis growing up, and he would kind of talk to me about it a little bit. But I mean, it now expands well beyond that at this point. Now we're
Exactly.
avid tennis fans, and we've gone to the French Open after that, year after year. We've been to the U.S. Open together.
Right.
We've done all the MSG tournaments, and
That's right.
I don't know how many matches and tournaments we've watched on the phone, texting each other
Exactly.
in the wee hours of the morning. Like, did you see that? Oh my God, I'm so happy! Oh, I cannot believe this chick. Or I gotta pour me a drink.
And I was going to say, how many bottles of whatever?
I know.
Because we're just frustrated, what's going on,
Right.
But then, the good thing about it is that I think that, we're at a stage now where there's more people. Tennis has become a lot more mainstream.
Yes.
I think before everybody just looked at tennis as just a rich man's sport. I mean, it still is. Let's not get it twisted. I mean,
right.
Tennis is not cheap. It's not something cheap.
It's not an inexpensive sport to play.
But it has become more mainstream. And I think, the Williams sisters obviously have had a lot to do with that.
Right. They've made it a little more commercial. And,
exactly.
And the reach, right? It reaches people, and the people have paid more attention to it over the past, I guess, 15 years.
Exactly. And I also have to think, though, for me, though, I go back because I've loved tennis since I was a little boy. I mean, I remember sitting in my house in front of the TV, and everybody in my family said, "What are you crazy?" I mean, I'm watching clay court tournaments and all that on TV. I'm watching Arthur Ashe, Stan Smith. I mean, people that a lot of people nowadays don't even know who the hell that is.
But then what's great about that is that you have, you truly are a fan, and you've been a long-standing fan, and you have the history. There's someone like me. I mean, I've gotten into it maybe 15 years ago, but I mean, so much had happened even before the 15 years. So here we are.
Exactly.
Now we're podcasting about what we love.
And I love it.
I know, we're so excited. and
I want all of you to be just as excited as we are.
Right, no, absolutely.
What we hope to bring is tennis to you in terms that you can really understand.
Right, and make it fresh. Make it fresh and realize that how much all the happenings. There's so much exciting stuff happening in the world of tennis. So
and it's very human, because I mean, there's all kinds of drama.
Oh,
and we all love drama.
I know. Yeah, so we have drama on the court and off the court, and we will be highlighting obviously we highlight the matches and the tournaments, so we're also going to be highlighting, some of the off-court drama as well, because it's all fascinating. So, so the podcast is 40 Love, and you can see us on, we're on IG and we're on Facebook, and we will be adding, information and hot ticket items to both pages, and just just follow us. So I guess for the purposes of this first podcast, we want to preview the clay court season is starting, I guess, on Sunday, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us what we know about the Monte Carlo ATP Masters 1000.
Well, first of all, this upcoming tournament, it's ATP, which is the Association of Tennis Professionals. Just so everybody knows what that acronym is.
And it's only the men, yeah.
And that's just the men's. That's just the men's tour. But this first tournament is in Monte Carlo, and it's got Monte Carlo. It's at the Monte Carlo Country Club.
The most beautiful
center court you can imagine. Like you're sitting at center court and you're looking out at the Mediterranean. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, we actually posted a picture of the court on our IG just so people can
exactly. So please
dream.
check it out. Check it out. Like us, there's gonna be a lot more of those coming.
Now, where is the tennis Serena's trainers? Where is his training center? Is that in Monte Carlo as well?
No, it's in France.
It's in France.
It
though.
is in France.
Okay, and I think it might be in south of France also.
Yeah, it
someplace.
is in south of France.
Just
let's just it's just beautiful. I mean, there you can play basically year round.
Right.
Monte Carlo, you're right on the Mediterranean. I don't know. Do they have winter? I don't know.
Their winter is mild.
Okay,
it's a mild winter. I mean, I think people wear coats, but they don't bundle up as much as we do here.
So we're talking about the Monte Carlo Masters Tennis Tournament that's coming up, and the defending champion is Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal has won that 10 times. Just
he's going for his 11th Monte Carlo title.
Going for his 11th Monte Carlo title, and I'm kind of biased a little bit.
I'm definitely biased.
I'm a Rafa fan.
We share that in common. We both are like Rafa. Vamos,
go
vamos,
Rafa,
vamos.
Okay, yeah, vamos.
Right. And so and then Zverev is playing. Djokovic has been struggling lately, but he's back.
Yeah,
and he's playing.
He's been injured a lot. It's funny because the grind on the tennis tour, we don't realize that. I think when people watch tennis, what people don't appreciate about tennis is that, first of all, it's an individual sport.
Right.
I mean, you have a coach, but your coach is not part of it while you're
all
playing.
All eyes on you. There's
all
nobody
eyes are on you.
Yeah.
And, and running around those courts, I mean, it's wear and tear on your body. Now, when I go out and play, I know. I mean, you sit out there, you see people. I think what a lot of us, when we see tennis, we say, oh, they're just out there on the court hitting the ball. No. It's like all kinds of
intense
strategies involved, placement, all that stuff is involved. And it takes a lot of good physical strength.
Right. And it's also like really being able to read your opponent, right? Because sometimes you'll be playing someone who's just going through a really, really great patch where they won't miss one ball, but you have to just kind of figure out, like, maybe you should hit a volley, hit something that's going to make them kind of get off their pattern, get out of their mode. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into tennis. It's definitely, you have to be a smart player. Djokovic, I guess it seems as if he kind of lost his passion a little bit after he got married and had his kids. It seems like he's
also had some drama. It's also been some, because of personal stuff in his life too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With him and his wife, and like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
There's stuff there like.
Oh, we got it. Like that's the next episode. Because I didn't even know about that. Okay.
But this is what we mean when we talk about tennis. Tennis is all encompassing. It's more than just being out on the court. But being out on the court is the ultimate. But all the other stuff kind of adds up to it.
Like every other athlete, right? I mean, but again, it's it's more intense when it's an individual sport, like you say. Like, if a ball player is having some kind of tragedy in his life, he could at least rely on his teammates to kind of come through when he's not feeling great. But when you're not feeling great and you have to go out there on that court. And you have nobody to look to but yourself.
And it's all you. I mean, that's it. And, and people look and there's
judge.
Nothing you can do.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You're going through a hard patch. That is the good thing about team sports. But that's the great thing about an individual sport. Because then when you overcome that and you win anyway, that even makes it that much better, and that's
that much sweeter, right?
And that kind of sums up like a Serena, or somebody like that, because
they overcome
no matter what the adversity is
or
whatever, they get out there and say, you know what, I'm going to take my adversity out on this ball.
Right. No, and I think and so that plays a lot in tennis when you want to see the underdog win. You want to see someone who's gone through. Like, even though I may not always like Sharapova,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to see her down. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
And you know, it's so funny because since Maria has been back, I mean, you know, like I was like, okay, she got her comeuppance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because all these years she's been such a, you know, a
word.
word.
An unfriendly person.
Yeah.
Right.
Been such a word.
Right.
But now, like when she goes out in the first and second round in these tournaments and she's
feel
come back,
bad. Right.
it really like bothers you because, you know, you've gotten used to these people over the years and seeing their success. And then all of a sudden there's no success. You say, what the hell's going on?
Well, you know what? In her defense, though, when she lost to Osaka, who knew Osaka?
Yeah.
Naomi just came out of nowhere and was kicking everybody's butt.
And that's one thing we'll get to at another point, at another time, is that there's this whole new generation of players
coming
that are coming out
that are
now.
shocking everyone.
Exactly.
And Osaka just happened to shock Sharapova, and
she followed it up by
by
tearing up Serena. You know what I mean? Okay. So,
So Osaka is definitely on the scene. So going back to Monte Carlo, I guess we should probably just highlight who's playing and our predictions, right?
Yeah.
So we have Nadal, we have Zverev, we have Djokovic, we have Cilic, Goffin, Dimitrov, Thiem. So all these folks are playing. Is Del Potro playing?
I didn't see Del Potro's name. Del Potro's
he
not.
might not be playing.
He's
and
also,
Kyrgios is not playing, right?
Yeah, Kyrgios isn't playing. Del Potro's taking a little break. He is going to play clay.
Right.
But he was so worn out after the American hardcourt season.
Yeah, you could tell.
That he decided, he's taking a little break.
Okay, and then Federer is out for the whole clay court season also, so we won't see Federer until he graces the Wimbledon.
But that's the thing about Federer. Federer is turning out to be one of the smarter players.
Right, he's not wearing himself out.
He realizes he's 36 years old, and he's figuring out the wear and tear in his body.
Right.
So in the clay is a grind. So he says, I'm just not going to play the clay court.
Federer has 4 kids, so he has to,
exactly.
He has a lot going on.
And he's done what he wanted to do. He won Roland Garros. He's won one time, and so that was he wanted to win he's won on every surface. So. He's won a Grand Slam on every surface, I should say. But,
so he's proven that he is the greatest or close to it. If he's not the greatest, he's pretty close to it.
He said, you know what, I'll let Rafa do his thing.
Right.
The clay season, okay? I'm taking a break.
So we're looking forward to that. I mean, I would have to say if I had to make a prediction, I'd say that Nadal's going to take it. I think Nadal has a lot to prove with Federer making this kind of making himself and playing so well and winning tournaments. I think Nadal really wants to prove that he ain't so bad himself. And
exactly.
I think that I'm going to give this one in terms of just the passion and drive to Rafa.
I'm going to give it to him. And I also think that they just had Davis Cup last week where Spain won. And they won their tie last week against Germany.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Rafa, he beat Zverev, he beat Kohlschreiber. Rafa, he did his thing. So even though he hadn't been playing, but clay is his surface.
Right.
Clay brings it out. So,
no, and it's like coming home for him. So
exactly.
I'm giving it to Rafa. Hopefully he takes it. And so again, it starts on Sunday. And it's played in south of France, so it's going to be it's 6 hours ahead. But I'm sure if you want to look up and see what time the matches are coming on, just Google it and it'll come right up. And we'll also just on our IG we'll put the website up so people can actually follow the matches and see the live scores.
Exactly.
So while the men are at Monte Carlo, the women will be playing. Well, some of the women will be playing Fed Cup. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So
yeah, it's the semifinals.
Right, semifinals.
The USA is in the semifinals.
And that's on April 21st, and the U.S. is playing France in France, and the Czech Republic is playing Germany in Germany. And so who's playing there, Don? What do you have for us on that?
Well, the USA, they've got a good team. They've got Sloane Stephens, who just won the Miami tournament.
Right, she's looking really good. I mean, she's looking unstoppable, quite honestly.
And it's so funny about her because, she just is like, you don't know what you're going to get.
No, she bottoms out and implodes
and then she
some
just
tournaments.
Comes back. And I like her attitude, though, because after she lost early in Indian Wells and a couple other tournaments, because she hadn't done well after she won the U.S. Open last year. She just really hadn't. But what I like about her is that she goes, oh, you got, the press, you guys are worried about nothing. This is her attitude. You guys are worried about nothing. It's going to be okay. Things happen. And you know what? But she backs it up.
She backs it up because she tore everyone up in Miami.
Yes, she did. Yes,
I mean, like in 2 sets.
She did her thing.
It was amazing. So
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm just going to be transparent. I don't necessarily love the way that Sloane has treated Serena.
Oh, I don't either.
But ultimately, I give it up, right?
Yeah,
I give up. She is. Listen, she's backing it up.
And the girl, she just has game. I mean,
right. And her coaches are amazing also.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
I think that she has a great team.
I love her support. I love her team.
Yeah,
I love watching her team when they're playing.
Me
I love that
too. Right.
I love it. Yeah.
Hopefully that whole situation will work itself out eventually. Yeah. But until then, keep gaming, girl.
And then Madison Keys,
Bethany,
and that's a. Madison.
She has injuries.
She's been a disappointment to me.
Like a quad or a hamstring.
Yeah.
She's always
injured.
Right, I know.
There's there's just something about that always being injured. I don't know if you're getting if you have a proper physio,
right,
or something, but something's wrong. And I worry about this with some of these young tennis players, especially the ones that I think are up and coming or are going to be the next stars. They play such a hard game, but they're just not. I don't think they're really physically.
They're fragile,
prepared.
Right.
Yeah,
the first power players were Venus and Serena on the women's circuit, and so, but they were kind of built for it.
Yeah,
it seemed. Whereas some of these other players, like Madison, has a really fast serve. I don't even know what her average is, but she's a true power player, but she is like kind of fragile
Very
at this time.
fragile.
And I'm hopeful, right? I don't want to necessarily label her as fragile, but at the moment she is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously Madison has a great game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about Madison whatsoever, except for the fact that I just think she's very injury prone, and that is something that's very disconcerting to me with a lot of I've noticed with a lot of these younger tennis players.
Right.
The old guard of tennis players, they were more. I don't know what it was.
It's hard because even Kyrgios, like someone like Kyrgios and his back.
I know.
But if he would stop slouching, then maybe he.
Okay, like walk up straight, okay?
Right.
All right.
Like, will you
they stay injured, okay? What the hell?
I don't know. Okay. But anyway, so on the U.S. side, we have Sloane Stephens, Madison Keys. We have Bethany Maddox-Sands. We're so happy to see that she's back from injury because that injury was pretty hard to watch.
Oh God, I'm so happy to see her back.
No, it was a tough injury. And then Coco's been tearing it up also. Coco Vandeweghe. And so we'll see, right? And then Kathy Rinaldi is obviously coaching the women on that front. And then on the France side, we have Mladenovic, Parmentier.
You got it? You got it?
I think I got it. Mladenovic, right? Christina Mladenovic, Parmentier. And
Amandine Hess.
And Yannick Noah is actually coaching that team, which is actually really good to see him coming back on the tennis
And he's
world.
coached them to a Fed Cup championship.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Awesome.
He has. I think France was last year.
Oh, wow.
No.
Was it?
Was it U.S.?
Oh, cool.
U.S.
All right.
But he has coached them to a championship since he's been back as coach. As a coach.
Cool. So I mean, on that, of course, I'm going to go with U.S. I think that if Madison Keys is healthy and she's doing her thing, and Coco was obviously a strong player. Bethany's a tricky player to play, and hopefully she's her game is back, and obviously
she's
Sloane.
a double specialist, so they'll probably. I'm sure that Kathy Rinaldi will probably use Bethany in doubles because she plays doubles.
Right.
She was number one in doubles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she.
So Donna's going to be the one that has all the facts. I'm going to be the one kind of
because I
brushing
have
around some
no
things.
other life
Right.
except for that.
No. Listen. Hey, it's not a bad life to have, right? So I'm going to go with between the two teams, I'm going with the U.S. I think that they'll ball out and make it to the finals.
Exactly. I think
and
so too.
and then the other semifinal is between Czech Republic and Germany. Germany obviously has Kerber and Gorgeous and Gronfeld, and Czech Republic has Kvitova, Pleskova, and Strichkova.
Okay.
And so who do you have? Who do you have winning that one? I don't know much
Who
about
I have
either
winning
one.
that one, it's really hard. It depends. Like if Kerber,
It's hard to
if
bet
Kerber
against the
plays
Czechs,
how
but-
she plays, how she can play, she could win if she plays the singles tie. She could win both of her singles ties if she plays how she plays. But this year has been kind of crazy. She started off on a real a streak. I mean, a real winning streak, and then, but I think people have kind of caught on to her defensive style.
Right.
Of play.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't been that, she hasn't had that year like she had a couple years ago where she won both the Australian and the U.S. Open. And where she played, but she really relied on that defense because the girl can get I don't know how she gets balls back. I really think that she's like what are those?
Like she's a rubber arm that kind of
yeah. Okay. Like, how do you get balls back all the time like that?
It's
what I mean?
It's crazy.
But I really think that you've got Pliskova on the Czech side, who's serve. I mean, she's tall, lanky, has this serve that's crazy. And then you've got Kvitova, who's a known entity, a known quantity. She's won 2 Wimbledons.
Right.
So
and we've actually witnessed Pliskova, beat all kinds of people in front of. We witnessed it in person and been shocked by it. So
and
Pliskova,
we were very angry
very
about
upset,
it.
very upset, messing up my buzz. I was drinking my wine, everything was all good.
Okay. Like, what the
And then I'm like, wait a minute, is that what the score is? Like,
okay.
So no, she's broken many of hearts.
Exactly.
So I it's hard for me to bet against the Czechs only because I know they go hard.
Yeah. But it'll be a good.
I think it'll be a good
match.
semifinal.
Julia Gerges, who's also on the other on the.
I said gorgeous.
But Julia Gerges is on the German team. She's had a very good end of 2017 into 2018. She's been very good. She's up in the rankings. I think she's she's somewhere in the top 20 and maybe in the top 15.
Oh wow!
But she's up there. So we can expect. It'll be a battle. And plus, they're playing in Germany, so it'll be a battle. So you might choose Czech. I don't know. I might say go out on a limb and say Germany.
Okay, great. No, that's great because then we'll bet something and then I'll try to win.
Okay. Okay.
It'll make it more interesting.
All right. Okay.
But I mean, so that's all we have today. I think that I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with 40 Love. We want to do segments on where are they now? Like where's Marat Safin? Where's all the people that we watched in kind of the early 2000s. Also want to definitely do a segment on the up and coming because there's so many between the Ostapenkos and
and there's more younger people, period, no matter what, that are really starting to get into tennis. I think the U.S. Tennis Association has done a really good job in getting people involved in tennis and getting having these youth programs all around. U.S. Tennis Association has done a very good job.
The only reason why I didn't do it when I was younger, Don, is I felt there weren't enough people like us. That's all BS, by the way. I like in my mind I'm amazing, but when I get on that court, I kind of suck. But it's all good.
But it's funny for me because like I said, I grew up watching tennis when nobody. I mean, I know nobody in my block was watching tennis. I know it.
Yeah.
And I know nobody in my house did. I know when I'd be in the living room hogging up the TV and people were upset. I know.
Right.
Me sitting there watching tennis like, what the hell? But, it's just so funny that now it's just become like.
It's become a lot more mainstream.
Yeah, it's a lot more mainstream.
And it's once you get hooked, you're hooked.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
And once you understand, the part of the thing is understanding the scoring.
Right.
And stuff. Because a lot of times people look at this and say, what is these are 40 Love?
Right.
What is 40 Love?
Well, yeah. And
but
40
I can tell
Love
you one thing, 40 Love is going to be phenomenal.
It is going to be phenomenal. And it is by far, if you are playing tennis, if you are in the 40 Love position, you are very happy.
Exactly.
Or
that means you're about to win the game.
Or you're at least very hopeful.
Exactly.
That you could win at least one more point.
Exactly.
So follow us. We're going to have a lot of fun here and lots to come. And we will be highlighting, the results of Monte Carlo and Fed Cup. And again, we'll be featuring the websites on our social media. Join in. Have fun with us.
All right.
40 Love.
Remember 40 Love.
Thanks for listening. To keep up with new episodes, hit subscribe. To keep up with us, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at 40 Love Podcast. See you at the courts. 40 Love.